Hi Board Gamers and welcome back to Not Board Gaming. I'm your host, I'm Mark. Now, I am just about 24 hours back from being in America and going to Gen Con. As you can see, I had a wonderful time at Gen Con. I got a video coming this weekend about everything I saw at Gen Con, but waiting for me when I got home was potentially my most anticipated game this year. It's a game I previewed for the crowdfunding campaign about 18 months or so ago. I played it a number of times on TTS and the kind of various pre-production copies as well with David Turczi at various cons, but now I have my own copy. You see, Mindclash Games have kindly sent me, and this is a review copy, of the Galactic Box of Voidfall from, of course, David Turczi and Nigel Buckle. Now this is, it's just with the artwork by Ian O'Toole. This is a huge box, and as I say, I've been waiting eagerly for it, and whilst I was in America, I got the notification that my Voidfall was being shipped out. So as well as being all excited about Gen Con, I couldn't wait to come back and see Voidfall. Now, obviously, if you know anything about Voidfall, it's set in space. It's a Euro game with 4X type elements. It's got very deterministic combat in there as well. It's not necessarily a combat heavy game. And it plays I think it's 1 to 4 players. But there is a solo mode as well. Of course, it's a Turczi game, so there's a solo mode where you battle against the Voidborn. Now, if you want to know more about the solo mode, should I say, Paul Grogan and I, on the 19th of August on Paul's channel, that's Gaming Rules, are going to be doing a solo playthrough. Well, Paul's going to be solo playthroughing. I'm going to be kind of the rules referee in the background, if you like. So I'm going to be helping Paul out with some of the rules, solo of Voidfall. So that is on the 19th of August on Paul's channel, which is Gaming Rules. So anyway, back to this. What I thought I would do is show you exactly what you get inside the Galactic Box edition of Voidfall from Mindclash Games, designed by David Turczi and Nigel Buckle. Should I say Nigel Buckle and David Turczi, with the artwork by Ian O'Toole. And once again, this is a review copy sent through by Mindclash Games. So without much further ado, let's delve into this box. Okay, so here we can see everything, well, the box itself for Voidfall. And it's a big box. It's a Mindclash game, and they generally come in big boxes, so it's kind of almost 2 handspans across, or well, 1.5 handspans across by 2 handspans in kind of width there. And the depth is nearly a handspan. It is quite a very, very deep box. And you can see this, I've still got the cellophane on here. It's slightly embossed here where it says Voidfall, of course. Nigel Buckle, David Turczi, artwork by Ian O'Toole, and look at that artwork. Just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You can see the Voidborn coming out of here. The Galactic Box and Mindclash Games. So if you whip it quickly over to the back, before I open it up, it shows you there a suggested layout there for, I think that's a 4-player game there, and what kind of minis coming here. It tells you a little bit about the game and some of the flavor text here. The once flourishing empire of Dominium is no more. Many of the great houses have lost their humanity, distorted until they become mindless puppets of one entity, more ancient than the universe. We saw the signs, we heard the whispers, we trusted the Novarchs, and it all led to the apocalypse of our civilization, the Voidfall. Now it's time for the remaining great houses to purge the galactic corruption, prevent the Voidborn from fully manifesting in our dimension, and to ultimately overcome the chaos of the new rulers of Dominium. And it tells you here kind of, you know, epic space strategy with 4X elements, minimum to 0 look competitive, cooperative and solo game modes, 20 scenarios with 52 map setups and 14 asymmetrical playable factions. About 45 minutes per player, 1 to 4 players, ages 12 plus. And there we go, that's it. All of the contents there, it lists them, but we won't go through that now. So what we'll do is we shall cut into the cellophane of the box. This is always the scary moment, because we don't want to damage the box itself. And now, once I take the cellophane off, you should be able to see in all its glory, without my light shining back on, just how good the box looks. And there we go. That is the box for Voidfall. So let's lift it off and see what happens. It's black on the inside, so I'll move the box there. First of all, it tells us there is a companion app for Voidfall. I don't know if this has been launched yet, but that's good. So the official Voidfall companion app, it's a free digital tool that makes your gaming session runs much smoother. It helps you set up and easily reference every scenario and quickly calculates the result of any combat encounter during the game. And that's really important. That's it, it's purely deterministic combat. So having something that helps you do that is really, really important. We have some punch boards here, and I'll get those out in a second, and we'll have a quick look through some of those punch boards. But it is, I don't know if you can see the thickness on that. Is it going to focus on my thumb? Yeah, reasonable thickness in terms of the thickness of the punch boards on there. And what do we have here? We have a reference sheet here, which tells you about the Voidborn fleets, tokens, combat, crisis. There's a lot going on in this game. Icon reference sheet there. That's going to be really useful. Look, it is an icon heavy game. The more you play it, the more you get used to the icons, but it can't get away from being an icon heavy game. So thankfully, we have a reference sheet there to help us. There we have the Voidfall Galactic Box Tray Manual. So this is going to tell me how I'm going to sort and store everything in Voidfall in the Galactic Box. And look at that, there is a lot of stuff in here. My God, so much stuff to go into the Galactic Box. Thankfully, we've got something like this. And you know what it's like. You've got individual trays for, of course, you'll have individual trays, I should imagine, for each faction. And then you've got other trays for the ship miniatures, and you've got the basic components tray, and you've got common supply trays. You're going to need that because you'll play it a few times, you'll put the game away, and then you'll get it out again, and of course you'll forget how everything goes. So pretty much these things are invaluable. Look at this. All of the various boxes that are going to go everywhere. This is utterly fantastic. It tells me there about the upgraded components in the Galactic Box as well. So the modular house boards where you slide the various houses in, the fleet type miniatures, the technology tableau and agenda offer trays, the Voidborn miniatures and metal tokens as well. Everything is there. So looking forward to this. Right, so we got, of course, a very large number of tray lids. This is going to be a mammoth and Herculean task of finding ways to put all this together. So these are just, oh no, these are the individual trays actually. So we have one, are they? Oh, the tray lids maybe, I don't know. One lid and there, yeah, so I get it. So all the individual trays and then the lids, and there are a significant number. Look at all these. I'm going to be spending one of those. I can remember when I got Perseverance, I spent like maybe two and a half hours just unpacking, unboxing Perseverance. I had a bloody good time doing it as well. So various tray lids there, as well as here we have some of the other game trays. So these are for the ships, and what happens is these will go into the base. Okay, thusly. Like that, and then your ship will slot onto there. Now if you look in here, I don't know if you can pick it up on there, there are some spaces where you're going to put cubes, because that's going to dictate the size of your fleet when it comes to actually, because you'll not have like 1,000 individual ships out there if you like, so this will dictate the size of your fleet. You'll have one miniature saying what kind of ship it is, and then up to 3 cubes in there dictating the size of your fleet. But there could be more. You can have a number of these discs, maximum number of these discs onto each hex and hex tile, if you like, because the tiles have been designed in such a way that you can't fit any more than, I think it's 2, maybe 3 of those on an individual hex. So it kind of restricts the number of your fleet. So there's 2 of those boxes. Now let's have a look at these. We have some of the miniatures here. So we have some of the fleet miniatures. So I think the thing to do is, if I go back into this, put something in a base, and we can show you how they attach basically. Let's hope I get this right, otherwise it'll be very embarrassing. So there we go. So we attach that onto the base, and let's take one of these fleet miniatures. You'll find somewhere on the bottom there will be a little slot where they can go in. And look, there we go. There's the miniatures. Now some people are going to have a whale of a time painting these miniatures, but you can see they're really good quality. It's Mindclash, you wouldn't expect any less. So those particular miniatures We also have these ships. Forgive me, I don't know the names of all the ships yet. Oh, I can't remember. I've known them at some point. These are big chunky miniatures. Look at those. That's excellent. And oh, they're all the same. So we have, yeah, we've done all those. We have those types of fleet ships. And then under these, we'll come back to these in a second, we have more discs and more miniatures. Okay, so we have the rule books, and we'll come back to those. And here we have some of the miniatures and some of the stuff for the Voidborn. Okay, so we have more of the discs to put them on, which are here. And it's just moved around a bit in shipping while I've been moving it. And then you have these. So the game has some dice to signify the strength of certain certain things on certain areas. And this is what's called a corrupted sector token. So various hexes. Well, there'll be sectors on there. There'll either be a home sector or a neutral sector or your sector or a corrupted sector. This dictates that the sector is corrupted. That essentially is going to do bad things to you if you've got a corrupted sector on there. You're going to put dice in there to signify the strength of that, and there are a number of those. Now, these are. If you let these run away with you, having one, maybe two is not the end of the world in the game, but if you let them run away with you, it can really impact your kind of performance in the game and can really start to have some negative effects. That's these then. So these, now I've not seen these before, but look at these. So they're orange, so there's something to do with the Voidborn. I don't know what they are. As of yet, I've not seen these particular miniatures in the past and all the times I've played it, but they're cool as well. And these are kind of barriers that you're going to place on the hexes. I want to say barriers. You're going to place these on the hexes. It stops travelling straight through, so you have to go certain ways around them. And there's a number of those in there as well. Oops. There we go. So that's that. Then we have a tray here, and these are cards that you're going to buy in the offering, basically. So these are your various technologies, and they're going to go in here. And you're going to actually buy those and upgrade your faction throughout the game using those. What do we have here? Oh, so many things to unpack. Right, we have some metal coins here. Okay. So here we have, obviously, the metal player tokens. So these are the turn order tokens. And you can see I've got the metal ones here in the Galactic box. They're nice. Weighty. We have green, we have pink, we have yellow, and we have blue for up to 4 players there. I think in the standard game you're going to get maybe cardboard tokens or maybe even plastic tokens, but in the Galactic box you get these wonderful metal tokens. And these are, yeah, so I can't remember the name of these, but you get these throughout various points in the game, and you're going to put them on your mat, or you're going to pick them up and put them on your mat. And you can see they give you a particular action on the back. I think that is plus a particular type of card. They've all got the same thing on there. I want to say they're called artifacts, but I don't think they're called artifacts, these at all. And you're going to get these throughout the game, and you get to block off spaces where you may have to pay a penalty as well, but they come in super useful because you can trade them in for stuff. Yeah, I can't remember the name. It's a few months since I last played Voidfall. Last played it with David, last played it with David at UK Games Expo with my friend Hilmar from Iceland. So we have some more minis here. Look at these little Voidborn ships. Here we go. You see these little Voidborn ships. You can see the little space they've got in the bottom where you're going to put the stand, etc., and they're going to go on the map as well, and you're going to fight them. Now, I say combat, it's not a heavy combat game by any stretch of the imagination, and combat is very deterministic. You're going to know going in or out of a situation as to whether you're going to win that combat, and that's really important. It's not a kind of try and see what happens. So here we have some of the ship miniatures. Each faction comes with its own, not own arsenal of ships, but has its own kind of setup of ships, and you can upgrade certain ships, etc., and try and get better ships. And it's really interesting that it works very differently on factions. So they're little grommets so some of the discs will turn. Let's have a look here. It's another ship. You can see. There we go. That's the top, and that's the bottom with the hole in there. So that would go like that. You can see the level of detail on there. Some more grommets. Oh, more cheese grommet. And here we have some other ships as well. So these are our ships. There we go. You'll see these, they'll have the hole for the stand to go on. So anything that's in orange is Voidborn and bad and enemy, and anything that's not in orange is going to be for the various factions to use, etc. So we'll put those away. And we'll have a look in this. Here we have... so these are some plastic, I want to say rings, but they're square rings. You're going to use them on your player boards to dictate how far up to take the various tracks that you've got. And we have some cards in here. There's a couple of packs of cards in here. We got these are kind of upgrade cards, etc. I'll not open them just now because I don't want them to spill everywhere. And we have that, which could well be the solo or co-op deck. More game trays. A piece of paper. Aha. So let me show you a player board. So this is in the Galactic box, and you can see we have these double layer player boards. Look at them, they're utterly fantastic. So when you pick a particular faction, what's going to happen is, let me see if I can find a faction. Let's see if I can find a faction. Here we go. Here's a faction. So with these boards, what's going to happen is you're going to slide that into there. And you can pick different factions, and it tells you what's going on each of the tracks that they're going up. So you've got things like, I don't know, commerce or politics, economy, etc. I can't remember the exact names of them, and they're different for each faction. And look at that, just the beauty of those boards, how they slide in. And that's really, of course, you don't need the boards, you could just use the faction sheets. I don't know if a copy of the game comes with just the faction sheet, but if you've got the boards, slides in absolutely beautiful. And you can see that there are slots there for cards at the bottom and top as well, because you're going to be sliding cards under and on top of your board. So that's what those slots are for. So of course the Galactic box comes with 4 of these, I want to say triple layer player boards, not double layer, but triple layer player boards. So let's have a look at the factions now. I'll come back to that in a second. So here we have the various factions, and we can see we got the Marquelos, we got the Navaris, we got the Valnis. Look at the artwork as well. Look at Ian O'Toole's artwork on this. We got the Bellitan, we got the Dunlork, we got the Cortazar. I'm reading these for the first time, so I do apologise if I'm butchering the names. And I am jet lagged as well. We got the Zenoa, or the Zenoa. No, the Zenoa. Again, look at the artwork. We got the Gwyn. The Gwyn. Sounds Welsh. The Shiveus. Look at that. The Yarvek. Each of them is asymmetrical. Each of them works differently. The Nervo. Is it Nervo? Nervo. The Asteron. The Fenrax. The Crabmore. And there we go, back to the beginning there. Now, on the back of each of these is a little bit about them. So you have their kind of complexity, you have their play style, you have some flavor text, some history about them as well, and then you're telling you which protested, because each one has an origin card or origin cards that you choose from. It's telling you the kind of suggested ones and the suggested starting tech as well, and what their special focus cards are as well. See, focus cards are a big part of this. And it's essentially how the game plays. You're going to have a hand of cards. Most of them are going to be the same for each player. There will be 1 or 2 slightly different cards per faction though. And it tells you the house ability there. So if you look at the Cradmore, they gain energy and science for removing corruption. Remember what I said about corruption? It's those little orange dice holders that you're going to put on your various sectors. So move those out of the way. I did skim past a couple of boards as well. So we have this board, which is effectively going to tell you the flow of the game. So you're going to put some technology cards out on here, you're going to put event cards out as well, and you're going to follow this for the flow of the game. There's those metal tokens that I told you about. When you take one off there, you're going to get the power that's underneath that. So that is double-sided. I don't know whether one is like solo and then the other one is 3 to 4 player, or co-op, maybe co-op. So that's got a little chain link at the top, and the other one has got a broken chain. So maybe one side is co-op and solo, and the other side is competitive. And then there's also this board as well. So this is for the solo and co-op game, and there's some cards on here that are really going to make your life hell, and they're going to come out basically, and they're going to really bloody make your life so hell. And it's very rewarding but difficult playing the solo and co-op game, and that's what that board is used for. So I've got some dice. So there's a dice per player colour in there, I think. So we have yellow, green, red and blue, and then we have some other dice as well. Number of blue dice and number of red dice. Most of those dice are going to go out, and you're going to put them onto various sectors on the map to denote the strength of what's there. I think that's the population. We have various coloured cubes as well that are going to go onto for each player to use, because essentially what you're going to be doing is pulling your cubes off to make certain actions. So we've got them in all the player colours there as well. Not to make an action. You're going to be moving your cubes when you want to start sending your fleet out, basically, or bringing your fleet back. So that's kind of most of that done. Then we look in here. These are, first of all, we have a number of decks of cards. Look, so these are the focus cards. Again, I'm not going to focus, and actually no, they're the event cards. Here are the focus cards. I'm not going to unwrap all of these because I don't want them splaying out before I get a chance to actually put anything away. So let's just have a look at this deck of focus cards. I'll say most focus cards are the same, with the exception per faction, with the exception of what it tells you your different ones are going to be. So we can see we've got them in all the various in the colours there. And essentially what you're going to do when you play a focus card is play 2 actions off there. There may be a cost to pay, and you get to play them, and then once you play that round, generally, unless you play another card, it's done. Or a particular card, it's done. But what you can do is you play it, and then you pick your 2 actions, and you're maximising off the back of that what your actions can be. And you can see on the production, each one is exactly the same, and that's the same for everything, except for, I want to say, might not be politics, might not be crusade. There's a particular card, temptation. It's the same for them all. I'm sure there's a particular card. Oh no, each one will tell you what is individual card that is different. So yeah, so each faction will have a slightly different card on there. But yeah, you're going to use those cards, your hand of cards, to effectively play your actions as each of your factions. Now, here is the kind of your player board, and you can see we have a number of tiles here. The game comes with scenarios, so you set the scenarios up, and it's going to tell you how to lay out the boards, etc. And what we got for these is some triple-sided boards, not dual-sided, but not triple-layered, not dual-layered, but triple-layered. So we can see there. Look, so if this is on this particular one for this setup, you're going to put these out here. That's where the dice is going to go. This is where your guilds are going to go. It's got some pre-set up on there as well. And these are spaces for guilds, so the guilds are going to go there. So that's the triple-sided boards. And you will lay these out, as I say, per faction, per scenario in a slightly different way for each scenario. And that is great. And there are, let's see how many in this stack, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 in a stack, and there's 4 stacks, so that is 28 potential stack, or maybe 8 actually, could be 8 in each stack. I missed one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, no, 7 or 8 in each stack. So anywhere between 28 and 30 odd are going to go in there, basically 28 and 32 are in there, and you're going to build those scenarios up. So that's kind of most of the stuff that's there, but there is still some stuff that's missing, that's not there. I hear you cry, absolutely. So let's go, that we haven't discussed, and we're going to go back to the books. Whew. Here we go. Let's have a look at the various rule books then. So we have a start tier. We have a glossary. we have a use together rulebook. This has got game setup, scenarios, tutorial, and the world of Voidfall. So I think when you first start playing Voidfall, it feels like it could be overwhelming, and I absolutely get that. But actually, once you've played a couple of rounds, it starts to make sense. But there are a lot of rules and a lot of icons to kind of learn. So what it's going to do is this is going to walk you through absolutely everything that's in the game. Okay, so you got all of your components that are there that we've gone through in this unboxing. I haven't touched on any of the dials yet because they're obviously unmade at the moment in the punch cards that I've got there. But you're going to make up some dials with the grommets that are going to track your resources and your score, etc. But this is very, very comprehensive. It goes through absolutely everything. How to say what the components are, how to use the books, what each phase does. What they wanted to do with this is absolutely walk you through as much as possible so that you don't feel left behind, because it is a big and complex game. But as I say, once you start playing it, it will start to make sense. But this is great read just to kind of get you to understand absolutely everything about it. It's really good that they put the kind of start here, just so you understand exactly how the game works, what each component does, and exactly what happens. Right. Then we have detailed description of game components here. So this is the glossary. This is something you're probably going to be referring to in your early games. It's got every card on there and exactly what it does. It's got, look at that. Every track, you've got the society, statecraft and economy tracks on there for each faction. Bear in mind there are a large number of factions, what each starting agenda does. Now, you may not read you don't have to read this all the way through, but if you ever get stuck, it's not leaving you in the lurch in any way, shape or form. Don't think there's that as like part of the rules, if you like. Yes, you can read it for fun if you wanted to, but that can be your Bible if you've got any questions whatsoever. Absolutely everything about the game, the components, the cards, is answered in this detailed description of game components. I think it's a really smart thing they've put in there. And then we have the use together with rule book. So you're going to use with the rule book and the scenarios, and this is going to tell you how to play each scenario. So here we go. So we have a 2-player scenario, a 3-player scenario, and a 4-player scenario, and the various setups for it. It goes right through the setup stages. And then as we go towards the back, I believe we have, let's have a look. Yeah, we have the various solo scenarios here as well at the back. So this is all of the, let me just get to those. Of course, this is the bit that we're interested in. Oh, that's competitive, sorry. Competitive. I should get these right. Cooperative and solo at the front. So there we go. That's really good to put front and center. So we have the solo scenarios. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 solo scenarios. Don't worry, your gameplay is going to be vastly different. There's loads of replayability in this. Then we have co-op scenarios, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17 co-op scenarios. And as a solo gamer, of course, you can play it co-op. It does play slightly different to the solo. And then we have all of the competitive scenarios there as well. And it really is going to walk you through. So rather than being a solo player and having to go to the back and find out what it is, it takes you through everything from first stand, which is just kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tiles, to, let's see as we go through the various complexity. And each one has got a complexity rating on there. Let's go to the final one. There we go. With a solo there with complexity, the fall of civilization. It's got 4 complexity. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 tiles there or thereabouts. And yeah, it's going to explain each scenario for you. Really important that you kind of work through that along with the rules. Keep this in the background for any kind of rules questions you've got, and you're going to be absolutely golden. I almost missed these, so make sure you check your box, people, if you've ordered the enamel painted metal structures. These are all the various guilds, etc. So I thought there was just the game in the box. I've just gone back and checked underneath all the packing peanuts, and we can see that I have all of the metal guild tokens and the structure tokens, etc. are here. And look at these. These are fantastic. Nice bright colours on those. Good kind of metal on there as well. There we go, we got the base tokens, we got the dock, space dock tokens. We just got everything there. So make sure you check your box for these various metal structures because they're really important and they could be hidden under your packing peanuts, but if you've ordered them, they look and feel nice and weighty and absolutely fantastic. Let's have a look at a different colour. We'll look at the red ones here. There we go, look at those. Really, you know, these kind of things do make a difference in the feel of play. Of course, you can play completely without them, but they do make a difference in the feel of play. So I'll say they're not in the core box. Go and check inside your packing peanuts if you've ordered them, because chances are they're going to be in a bag somewhere under all those packing peanuts. And that's the Voidfall painted metal structures. So the last thing I said I was going to do is look through these punch boards. Now, I'll say there's a number of punch boards, and what I'm not going to do is get them all out because, you know, until I'm ready to start putting the game away, invariably what happens with punch boards is pieces start to come loose. But let's just have a look in here and see what we've got. Just bear with me. There we go. So some of these are going to be dials. Some of them are kind of reminders in terms of what happens for the various Voidborn and Void fleets that approach us. Some of them are actual tokens as well. So if we look here, we got a number of, here we got some punch cards here, got little punch outs there, things are going to go in. I can already feel some of these starting to give a little bit, so I'm where to get them out. These are glory tokens you will take, and these are guild tokens, so there we have the various guilds that you've got, which are kind of bank and mining and stuff like that. Now, the reason I don't want to start doing this just yet, as you can see it's already just happened, is that each one of these is got a dial there and the various dials that you're going to put in, and this is how you're going to track your resources and your score, etc. I'm not going to do that just yet because those, man, I could see a piece almost went and a piece did go, and you can see some stuff's already fallen out from the bottom, so I'm going to just put these away because I don't want to pull them out until I'm absolutely ready to start using those. But those are the various punch boards you get for the game. And that is pretty much everything that you get in the Galactic Box of Voidfall from Mindclash Games. There's a lot of stuff there. I'm going to spend a good couple of hours punching and sorting and putting stuff away. But it's going to be so enjoyable because the game, I'll say, I must have played it 7, 8, 9 times now in various formats, be that solo, co-op and competitive, and I've enjoyed it more and more every time I've played it. I'll say, not necessarily a difficult game to play, there's just lots to understand, and once you get to grips with the basic concepts, and thankfully we have that book which allows you to kind of reference it as well, so you've got the full glossary, so you're never alone. How all the books are split up is absolutely fantastic there. Trust me, you're going to absolutely love Voidfall from Nigel Buckle, David Turczi, artwork by Ian O'Toole, and of course brought to us from Mindclash Games. And there you go. That's everything you get in the Galactic Box of Voidfall from Mindclash Games. Now, normally at this point in an unboxing video, what I've done in between filming all the components is I've kind of punched it and packed it all away and put it all back in the box. Now it's going to take me a few hours to do that, so obviously everything's now kind of on the table. I'll put it away loosely, but I then want to start doing it in a very, very systematic way. But I think that's a hell of a lot of components that I've got there for what is one of my most anticipated games of the year. Played it across all play accounts, from solo up to 4-player. Absolutely adored it every time I played it solo. It was, when I played it, it was fantastic. I'm sure it's even better now. It's a few months since I last played it solo. So Paul Grogan over on Gaming Rules is going to have a number of videos on Voidfall. He's got some playthroughs, he's got some how to plays, and Coming, as I mentioned at the beginning, on the 19th of August, Paul is recording a solo playthrough, and I'm going to be with Paul on that video, kind of doing the rules lawyering in the background as well. So don't forget to go and join Gaming Rules on the 19th of August. I think it's from 7 o'clock kind of British time. But of course it will be on his channel afterwards to watch after, to understand how you play through, or to watch a solo playthrough of Voidfall. Yeah, my most anticipated game of the year. It's finally here. It arrived while I was in Gen Con in America. I'm so pleased to have it. Can't wait to kind of put everything together, get this onto the table and start battling those Voidborn. So thank you very much for joining me through this video. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed everything that you could see in the Galactic Box. My name's Mark. This is Not Board Gaming. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out our other videos. And one final thought, if you can't find anyone else to play with, there's nothing wrong with playing with yourselves. Until next time, bye-bye.